Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as we collect some more flower seeds. So let's go. We are heading into the end of summer and into the fall months. It is a perfect time to be collecting seeds from flowers, from herbs, from annuals, from vegetables, from perennials, you name it. There are a lot of seeds that you can be collecting right now. In fact, I've made a lot of videos showing you my process for not only collecting seeds, but also for how to start those seeds. I'll be sure to add any related videos down in the description below in case you're interested. I made my annual trip out to a park close to my home. It's in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and it's called Prescott Park. It has beautiful flowers, and I love going to those gardens, not only to just enjoy it and visit it, but also I love collecting the seeds from a lot of the flowers that are there. I highly encourage you to do the same thing. You can go to your own gardens, you can go to family or friends, neighbors' gardens, you can go to local parks. The key is just make sure you always ask permission before collecting seeds from different plants. I've already made a few videos showing you my process for collecting seeds from some of the flowers out at this park. I'll be sure to add those video links down below. But in this specific video, we're going to be collecting the seeds from 3 plants. The first one is Obedient Plant, which I love. I have it in my backyard plant nursery, and I noticed that it was blooming in Prescott Park that day. The next plant, Dahlias. Who doesn't love dahlias? Dahlias are great. You can always overwinter the tubers, but some people have trouble with that. Did you know that you can start dahlias very easily from seeds? So if you can actually collect the seeds of a dahlia plant, then go ahead and save those, and then I'll show you later this season my process for sowing those seeds. And when you start dahlias from seed, those plants will produce tubers. And then the final plant that I'm going to show you in this video on how to collect the seeds from it is Celosia. And by the way, behind me, those white flowers that you see, those are wax begonias. I started all of those from seed, and I've made videos showing you my process for collecting the begonia seeds. It is a super easy plant to start from seed. So let's go back in time on the day that I went to Prescott Park to collect these seeds. Here we are with Obedient Plant, and I have this in my backyard plant nursery. I have the white one as well as the purple one, but I noticed that they are going to seed, so I wanted to show you what to look for when you're collecting the seeds of an Obedient Plant. This right here is what the flower bud looks like, and when the flower bud gets bigger, the plant produces flowers. You'll notice at the top here there are blossoms, but if you follow it down, these blossoms have all gone by. And when the blossoms go by, the plant then starts producing seeds inside of seed pods. I want you to notice, even though the seed pods are not brown, they're still green. If you look inside the seed pods, you'll see little black specks. Those are the seeds. We're going to go ahead and remove this big, huge stem that's full of seed pods and seeds, and I'm going to show you how to collect the seeds from each of the seed pods. In order to release the seeds from the seed pod, all you need to do is just rake this with your fingers, and by doing that and having this plant upside down, the seeds will get released. These little black things that you see right here, those are the seeds. What you're looking at now is a close-up view of what the seeds as well as the seed pods look like. And I put a US dime next to them so you can compare the size. I also have a small Ziploc bag, and it's labeled with the plant name, where I collected the seeds from, and the year I collected the seeds. You always want to store your seeds dry. Do not store them wet, otherwise they will rot. You don't need to use a Ziploc bag. You can use a paper bag, an envelope, or a jar. Just make sure that your seeds are fully dry. Look how tall this dahlia is. It is so pretty. It's a yellow colored dahlia, and I'm going to collect the seeds from it because I don't have this specific kind of dahlia in my yard. Here is a small flower bud, and it's going to get much larger than this, but that's the beginning of the flower. This right here is a flower bud, and the flower bud will then turn into a flower. Here is the beautiful flower in its glory. After the flower fades, the plant starts to go to seed. This is the start of a seed pod, but it is not ready to be picked yet. You still have to wait. You want this to turn a brown color, almost papery. And right here is what you want to pick. The stem is brown and the seed pod is brown. The seeds inside there are ready to be picked, and I'm going to show you what the seeds look like. This dahlia fell apart when I put it in the bag. But if it had not, what you would want to do with your dahlia seed pod is just rake it through your fingers like this. And when you do that, it will make it all fall apart nice and easily for you. And then what you want to do is separate the seed material from the non-seed material. So I'm just picking through right now, and right here is an example of what you're looking for. And that's a seed. So I can just put that to the side. And even though it's a tedious process, it's so worth it. You just basically pick through all of this material here and you're looking for the seeds. And the seeds should not be a green color. They should be a darker color. And here's another one. And it's amazing that whenever I show you any of these seeds, including these dahlia seeds, that each seed will produce one plant. I always like to collect more than less when it comes to seed pods, just to make sure I have enough seeds. And also, there is always a chance that if you collect a seed pod, the seeds in there are not viable. So you always want to collect more seed pods than less, just to be safe. And there are probably a ton more seeds in here, but I just wanted to show you my process for doing this. When it comes to the non-seed material, I'll just be throwing that away after I've gone through and picked out all the seeds from here. But you can see right there, that's a good amount of seeds that we've already collected. I also want to point out that this paper is creased in half. What I like to do after I get rid of all the non-seed material is I can use this paper, fold it in half, and I can funnel all the seeds off of this paper into my Ziploc bag just to make it easier. Now these seeds are much bigger, but that is very handy if you had very small seeds on here to funnel them into the bag. And here you're looking at a close-up view of what the dahlia seeds look like, as well as the non-seed material next to the Ziploc bag, with it being labeled as well as the US dime, just so you can see the size of everything. Maybe you call it Celosia, maybe you call it Celosia. I call it Celosia. There are so many different colors, different heights of it. I want you to check out this really pretty purple one over here. It started to go to seed, and I want to show you what to look for when you collect the seeds from this plant. These are the blossoms that are just starting to form. They're the initial flower buds of the Celosia plant. These flower buds are getting a little bit bigger, but just wait for it. Eventually, the flower then creates this color where it's light purple on the bottom and a darker color purple on the top. And it just keeps on going and getting larger and larger. But then what happens is the plant then starts to go to seed at the bottom as it continues to bloom at the very top. I want to take you in for a closer look to show you that you can see the seeds actually, even from a distance. If you look carefully, you will see little black specks in the inside of this plant here. Those are the seeds, and I'm going to show you how to go about collecting the seeds from the seed pods. What we have here are the Celosia, and notice that the seed pods are starting to turn even more of a browner color. It has been a number of days since I collected them. Some of the seeds have come out on their own, but there are still plenty of seeds that need to be harvested from those seed pods. There are certain plants that I like to use a kitchen colander for when it comes to separating the seeds from the non-seed material, and Celosia is one of them. And I have a kitchen strainer or colander here, and right below it, you'll notice I have a bowl. And what you can do is just pour all of that into the colander. And when you do that, and you just shake it like this, or take your fingers and move the seed pods around like that, what will happen is all of the seeds will fall to the bottom of the bowl. And then all you need to do is just pour out the seeds onto your paper like that. And there's a nice close-up shot at what the seed pods look like, as well as the seeds. And the seeds are pretty small. And again, it's amazing. Each seed will create one whole plant. So you can only imagine how many plants we'll end up getting with just the seeds that you see here. It's truly amazing. I hope you enjoyed this video. More than anything, I really hope that it inspired you to get out there and collect some seeds. And by the way, all of these begonias that you see here were also, you guessed it, started from seed. I am going to be busy collecting a lot more seeds, and I'll be sure to create videos to share that with you. Until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.